All right, we want to welcome on a very, very special guest. He is an AP preseason first-team All-American. He's a Big Ten preseason first-teamer. He is Trayce Jackson-Davis, the junior forward for the Indiana Hoosiers. Trayce, first off, thanks for joining us. We had the pleasure of sitting right behind you for the St. John's game. I got to ask you, did you recognize these lunatics going crazy after every bucket during that win?
I did indeed. Actually, you were sitting right by my brother too. So.
Oh shit! Good thing we didn't talk shit about you.
It's not even us sucking up. We love this kid. So that worked out well. But we were getting after the refs. We were getting after the opponents. So
we were wondering too, bro, because a lot of people were like, who are you? Because no one gets these seats. They're like, you three should not be here. So we were wondering, all right, these guys know who the fuck we are, or we're just some morons yelling at them.
Definitely, that's fried.
So first of all, when we were there, a huge win. Is that do you? Because we got the tour of Assembly Hall and everything. Do you still get the chills when you walk out? Because we got the pleasure to see you walk out. We walked out when no one was there. It's one of the craziest environments I've ever been to.
Oh, most definitely. Almost every game is crazy. Students will be there 2 hours before the game, so you're warming up, and you just see all of them start filling in. And then it's weird. So you go in at 30 minutes, and then when you come back out for your last warm up, all of a sudden it's just packed, and you're when do these people get in here? So I still get chills every time I play there. Honestly,
we kind of asked everybody about it. It's almost like beating a dead horse at this point, but the fans really do make a difference, right? Do you think that's kind of attributed? It's only a couple of games in, but last year, why sometimes you don't get into a funk or pulling upsets, certain things like that. The fans really do change things in college basketball.
Most definitely. I consider myself an energy player, so without the fans last year, it was a lot harder to create your own energy. You got to create your own energy from the bench, and then the teams coming in to play against you, they don't feel any different. They're just playing. You don't have to worry about fans trying to alter the game and stuff.
I think you said it after the St. John's game where you were in a couple of those games last year with up 2 with a minute left or down 2, and that with St. John's there, that the crowd really did help you guys finish that game out and get the win instead of just maybe falling off, right?
Yes, exactly. It's crazy. Last year we went into 7 or 8 overtimes, and we didn't get the benefit of the doubt, and almost all of them were at home besides 2 or 3. So it's it's crazy how it works. So our whole season could have been different last year if we had fans in the crowd.
So at the time we're recording this, it's Monday afternoon. You're coming off of your big win over Louisiana. The AP poll just came out, and I saw you tweeting some emojis with the sleeping eyes because Indiana, I don't know, I'm just inferring here, you guys are still unranked. Make the case for the Hoosiers to have a little number next to their name right now. Do you feel disrespected by the media?
I'm not necessarily disrespected by the fact that we're not ranked, but the fact that we dropped. I don't understand how we dropped 4 spots when we've won every game. So, I understand, if we're not ranked, if a team, an unranked team beats a ranked team, I understand that they can jump us, but I don't understand how we've dropped 3 or 4 spots. But we're just going to keep doing our thing and winning games. So, and then we'll get ranked if we keep winning. So that's all.
I agree. That's because these nerds out here have some stupid algorithms, and they just don't look with their eyes. You're 4-0, right? 4-0, wherever you guys are. Michigan lost 2 in a row. They lost 2 games. They shouldn't even be fucking ranked. That's math to me. 0 and 2. What's better? 0. You nerds like this guy upset me that you guys should. I don't even care if not be ranked. You definitely shouldn't drop. I don't know. That was a ricochet shot to you. I don't know why. But yeah, that was all I had to say.
Yeah, Marty's just anti-meth. Let's talk a little bit about the summer, going back a little bit, right? So the coaching change. Brad Stevens is being floated around. Oates' name was being thrown around. Mike Boynton, Chris Beard. You, I think at one point, were kind of deciding you might go to the draft. Woodson kind of comes out of nowhere. And then from what I'm reading and what I've told, Woodson's first interaction with you was a little difficult. He wasn't begging you to stay. He was kind of knocking, not necessarily knocking, but saying the things in the article I read, things you didn't want to hear. He was showing you tape and say, do this, do that. So what's it been, first off, that Woodson kind of came out of nowhere in the coaching search, and what has he done to your game?
Yeah, most definitely. So Coach Woodson, before he came in, our athletic director was like, just wait, hold on. We're going to bring in a guy, and then whoever we bring in, I know he's going to be a great fit for our program. So I was taking his word for it because me and the athletic director are really cool. So I waited, and then they brought in Coach Woodson. And then the first time I met him, he was already trying to coach me and critique my game from like the moment that we went in. We watched film, and that really stood out to me because usually when you want someone to stay, you're like trying to suck up to them. Yep. And like he was the opposite. He was trying to tell me the things I need to work on in my game. And then what really stood out to me, he was like, if you do decide to go to the NBA draft, then I'm still going to help you. And this man has never met me before. This is the first time he's ever met me. So I was like, so that really stood out to me too. So I was like, well, I want you to talk to my parents first and see what they say, because my dad was dead set on me leaving. He didn't want me to stay here. So, and then we met him, and then like not 5 minutes after the meeting, he was like, yeah, you're staying here. So that worked.
That's actually fucking awesome. Cause yeah, you're right. Like if he's, you would think he would just suck up to you, especially you're like the best player on the team. Everyone knows you. Like if you come back, you make him 10 times better. He'd just be like, hey, I'll do whatever you want. But he's like, no, like you got to fucking work on this jump shot or work on this. That's pretty cool. And his, we met him for like 2 seconds. That he's got one of those beards that like it's always Woodson. You know what I mean? Like if he shaved that thing, is he scary? He scared the shit out of me. His hands are so big.
he's really not. He can be like intimidating sometimes, but he's usually all jokes, and he's a really, really good dude, honestly.
Yeah, I could tell, definitely.
That's fantastic. So we just touched on you, of course, staying on the new regime from the Archie Miller to Mike Woodson regime. Now, what would it mean for you to take this team to the NCAA tournament? Of course, Indiana, the drought has been talked about. So to get that monkey off of your back and hear your name called on Selection Sunday, what would that mean not only for this team, but for the program overall?
Most definitely. The program overall, I know they've been itching to get back to the tournament. My freshman year, I think we made it. We were 20-12 going into the second game against Penn State in the Big Ten tournament. So I feel like we were almost a lock to be in. And then COVID happened, so it got canceled. And then last year, obviously with no fans in the stadium, it was hard for us to get a string of wins together and stuff of that nature. So coming in this year with a new team, a lot of guys coming from losing squads like Parker, Xavier, and dudes that have never played in the tournament. Almost our whole team hasn't played in the tournament. So that would be big for all of us, and I know we're hungry to be there. So we're just going to keep working.
The Big Ten, we kind of joke, it's like literally the Big Ten. You see, obviously, Dickinson, Kofi, Edey, right? What kind of pressure is on you of being – it's almost like a heavyweight fight every night, that you have the responsibility of being the best player on your own team, but you got to go defend the best player on the other team. You're carrying it on both ends.
Most definitely. Those dudes they're different. The Big Ten is literally no joke. It's literally the Big Ten. Like they're huge. Like you got Kofi, who's 7 foot, 300 pounds. Like I'm 6'9", 240. I have to guard him. It's hard. I'm not gonna lie to you. I get last year we played them twice, and like after both those games, I was so out of it. I was in the treatment room for like 2 hours.
We've heard that. Are you like bruised? Is everybody like?
Yeah. It's literally just it hurts, but you just got to go through with it. And then Hunter's a really good player too. He's also 7 foot, and then you got the two-headed like punch with Edey and Travion. So guarding both of them, that was no easy task either. But there's a lot of great players here in the Big Ten, and hopefully we can represent the conference, especially going forward, and put on a show for the fans.
Guys, really, Race and Trayce has got to be very annoying during practice, right?
Our coach literally Coach Woodson calls us the wrong name all the time. He'll look at. I think he calls Race my name more than he calls Race his own name, and then he calls me Race more than he calls me Trayce.
Yeah, you both are just Race at that point. It's like, let's just drop the T real quick. There's no reason for it.
Exactly.
Another thing that might be confusing, at least for the fans, I mean, they know your face, but you changed numbers over the offseason, right? From 4 to 23. Can you give us a little background on what went into that?
So my freshman year, I was 4, because 23 was taken by one of my teammates. His name was Demizi. And so I was 23 in high school. And then Christian Lander, a kid coming in, was number 4 in high school. And he asked me, he was like, if I come, can I have your number? And I was like, yeah, that's fine. Because Demizi transferred. So I was like, all right. So I might as well pick back up on 23 because that was the original number that I wanted when I came here. So I just decided to change it out. So
Numbers are a big thing. I feel like for
Huge thing.
I was number 29 because no one ever wanted it. So like I never had the problem of 23 that usually people want.
Well, 23 in basketball too, obviously.
You didn't play sports though, so it's fine. Speaking of sports, was told, is your brother a better quarterback than you?
Oh, absolutely.
Is your brother a dirty quarterback?
Yeah, he's like that. He's going to Tennessee at the semester this year, so hopefully he's going to be competing for that starting spot as a freshman. So, but they're in the state championship right now. Their team's been back-to-back state championships, but they went undefeated last year, and now they're undefeated this year. Just absolutely clobbering teams. So
that's sick.
They're about to play next Saturday, but we have a game, so hopefully after the game I see a W for them.
Nice.
And one of your managers, Adam, told me. So he told me to ask about the scar on your head. First of all, it's a sick scar. I feel like most people think it's probably like a design in your head.
Yeah. So I get asked about this all the time. So it's both sides, and it actually goes all the way around my head. So when I cut my hair really short, you can see it actually go all the way around my head. But when I was little, I had to have a brain surgery because I got hit in the head with like an exercise band, and it cracked and fractured my skull. So they had to cut the ear to ear.
Holy shit.
I was like 7 or 6 or 7 at the time. Yeah.
Why did Adam tell you to ask him?
I don't know.
Thank you for being open. But
it's probably a main thing people ask because it's on the
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
Yeah, people ask me all the time, actually. They're like, that's a sick design. I'm like, I usually just say, yeah, appreciate it. But
yeah, that's way easier. But yeah,
just roll with it.
You're right. My barber fucking kills it every time.
So last week we were fortunate enough to sit right behind you guys, as we mentioned. And we noticed you guys have a sick bench mob. Who's the best hype man on the team when guys are going on a big run? Anyone stand out?
Bench mob. Anthony Leal's really big. He always is doing some crazy thing on the bench. Tamar Bates. Tamar is he's an energy guy. He'll be screaming. He don't care. Like his brain's wired different. He'll say stuff to the refs. He'll say stuff to anyone. Like he just acts like he's the only one out there. So I'd say those two are probably the biggest for us.
I mean, we were like screaming at him too. Remember?
Yeah, listen,
especially this man.
The refs, they were not blowing in their primary zone. That's what I noticed. They were blowing through, not a lot of consistency. I had your back.
But we were yelling at the guys on the bench too. We were like screaming like threes and shit.
Yeah. And then we were equally yelling. Guys hit a couple of free throws, but we're friends with you, so we're not going to bring that up.
No.
Your father was Dale Davis, right? For the Pacers. So I grew up watching those teams. These guys are younger than me, which they'll obviously make fun of. But he used to go against Oakley, Mason, and it was like him and Antonio Davis, and it were just beasts underneath. 2 parts, I guess. What did he have any like stuff? Because that was the 90s of the NBA to make you tough. Like as a little kid, was he doing like crazy drills? We talked to Luka Garza. His dad was nuts with those drills. And then 2-part, did he used to tell you any stories of Reggie Miller being a shit talker?
Yeah, you saw like the documentary with Reggie. We talked about that a little bit. Just the things that he would say, just so disrespectful. But we won't get actually into that because vulgar. And then drills and stuff like that. Sometimes when he comes, because I live with my mom, so when he came and visit, we go to the gym and he teach me a few things here or there. But he really just wanted to spend time with me because he lives in Atlanta. So sometimes basketball wasn't the number one focus, but at the same time, whenever like we were in the gym, he'd teach me a few things. I remember like one time he taught me this drop step that I used in high school, and I scored like 30 from just using that same exact step. So like some of the things that he taught me were really good for my game.
And is Rick and Morty your favorite show? Because that's a sick poster you got.
It's one of them.
So Trayce, when we went last week, Adam, the head manager, gave us all access tour. He was fantastic. And when we went through the facilities, we saw a bunch of video game consoles. We saw a ping pong table. What do you do down there during your downtime?
Yeah, what's crazy is like the video game consoles don't even get used for real. So like they're just there. And then so we play ping pong a lot. Actually, B. Walsh, one of our guys on the staff, is actually insane. He'll beat anyone. Like he beat me 21-3. And then like, but other than that, we just chill in the locker room and talk for real, just tell stories. So that's usually what we do when we're bonding and stuff like that.
Your fucking shoe is ginormous, by the way. We put it
Bigger than his head.
Put it next to my face at your locker.
Jesus Christ. Yeah. It actually sounds weirder now that we told him we went in his locker. What the fuck?
It's probably better I didn't go. He would have been like, I'm missing shorts. I'm like, I'm a big merch guy. I got two last things. One I will save later. But so obviously the story going around right now is Purdue, right? Everybody's kind of in love with Purdue. College rivalries are what make the sport awesome. Duke, North Carolina, Kentucky, Louisville. Purdue, I don't want to bring up bad times, but Purdue's got you 4-0. Can we get, is it a guarantee? You taking one this year? Like, what's the trick here to knock down Purdue? I got to imagine you're looking forward to it.
We are looking forward to that game, but at the same time, Coach Woodson got his philosophy. He said we're taking it one game at a time. Right. But obviously, that game in January is going to mean a lot to us. I know it's going to be in front of a packed Assembly Hall. And Purdue's got a great squad. They got a Player of the Year candidate in Jaden Ivey, and then obviously Zach Edey and Travion. So they're going to be tough to beat. So we're just going to have to prepare and listen to what Coach Woodson says. And I believe in him, so I believe that he'll put us in a position to win. So.
Right. Well, we are 1-0 sitting front row. So just, if you do want to go back to the bell, let us know.
You played all right, but a lot of people were calling us the heroes of the game. Just letting you know.
If y'all want to come back, that's fine with me. Good luck.
That's how you do it. You trick him to make it think it matters for us. He's going to hang up the phone and be like, I owe 3 assholes in New York tickets again.
You also realize what he does, Rico, to anybody when we interview him. Like, I don't want to bring up bad times, but you're 0-4. It's like you brought it up. You just said one you say before. It's
right,
like
but I gave a preface. I didn't want to bring it up.
But
it's not
no disrespect,
intentional.
Rico, but you're an asshole. Like that's the
well,
same
it's okay
shit.
because he said no disrespect.
Trayce, so we all made our Big Ten predictions at the beginning of the season. I'm the only one who respects you guys. Not only do I have you as Big Ten Player of the Year, I have Indiana in the Final Four. What do you have to say to these two for not believing in you?
That was fucked up.
I had you in the top 10.
I appreciate you, but at the same time, we've had a few bad seasons, and we had a team this year that's like y'all have never seen before. So like, hopefully, maybe you can change that predicament now after watching us, but. We're just going to keep putting together wins, and then hopefully we'll see what happens from there.
See now. Well, first of all, Trayce, he followed me back on Instagram. Hunter Dickinson's my guy too, so now I got 2. All right, now I'm very viable.
Also, listen, Indiana's skyrocketing on my power rankings after the Gavitt games. Got teams losing to fucking Marquette.
Yeah.
So listen, you're right there in the mix. The last one I had, I saw you did a journal and you went to the Bahamas over the summer. Beach or pool?
Oh, beach.
Yeah?
Beach.
You like sand?
Big beach guy.
Yeah, but sand is messy.
I'm not in the sand. I'm in the ocean. So.
Yeah, but to get to the ocean, you got to go through the sand. You got a secret. How does that work? I know you got a big reach, but you could just step. What are you doing?
No, sand doesn't bother me that much.
All right.
Sand, especially when you're in the ocean, you get out and it's all over you. It's one of the worst feelings of all time. But also, don't you go to like a pool club or something?
Yeah, what do you want me to say? Yeah, I had a pool in my backyard. Then we go to multiple pools. Just in general, pool of the ocean.
You did try and go in a hotel pool in Indiana. It was closed.
Yeah, they fucking closed the hot tub. I was upset.
But no, that's all we got, Trayce. That is Trayce Jackson-Davis. He is the face of the Indiana basketball team. By the time you're listening to this, hopefully the Hoosiers, you're 5-0. You got Jackson State on Tuesday night, and then Marshall, and then a little battle between you and I. I'm a Syracuse alum, so we'll see you next week in the Dome. But Trayce, we really appreciate the time. We'd love to come back to Bloomington sometime soon, and good luck the rest of the season.
Yes, sir. Appreciate it.
Thanks, bro.
Trayce, all the best,
Appreciate
man. You're playing great.